Hello. Okay, so welcome to this week's module. You should have by this point watched the first video I posted, which is basically to take you through some background information on Pablo Neruda, a little bit of background on his life and the impact that that had on his poetry. So in this video, I'm going to bring my attention and bring your attention more to his work, and specifically looking at the poem that is on our reading agenda for this week, which is Tonight I Can Write. Now, of course, we've been on modernism all week. We started with the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock, and we're going to wrap up our discussion of modernism with this poem by Neruda. And so obviously, as we kind of read through the poem, we're going to be talking about, again, those various aspects of modernism and how we can apply those to this poem. And then in your assessment at the end of the module, I'm going to be asking you, some specific questions that I'd like for you to think about in relation to this poem. All right, let me see if I can get us to advance here. So I think primarily with this poem, as far as themes relating to modernism, we're going to look particularly at these right here. And most of these we've already talked about. Existentialism, which is, again, that focus of the I of the poem, the individual, that first person narrator who is undergoing some sort of personal crisis. Works of modernism are all about these people sort of questioning where they fit. Where do they fit in the grander scheme of things? Again, a lot of suffering is depicted in these works. Usually these are not very happy people and not very happy situations that are taking place. Alienation, fragmentation, and experimentation. Now, of course, when we get to experimentation, we're talking about the structure of the work itself, the narrative technique, the word choices, the choices of imagery in some cases, and how those are working. And obviously, some of those are going to be more relevant for poetry than for prose. So before we dive too much further into this, obviously we need to look at the poem itself. And I have not put a complete copy and paste of the poem on here because it's kind of hard to do in a PowerPoint. But you should have your books, okay? So I'm going to direct you to 1272 and 1273. And I would just like for you to follow along. And we're going to read through this poem together. Tonight I can write. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. Write, for example, the night is shattered and the blue stars shiver in the distance. The night wind revolves in the sky and sings. Tonight I can write the saddest lines. I loved her, and sometimes she loved me too. Through nights like this one, I held her in my arms. I kissed her again and again under the endless sky. She loved me sometimes. I loved her too. How could one not have loved her great still eyes? Tonight I can write the saddest lines. To think that I do not have her, to feel that I have lost her, to hear the immense night still more immense without her, And the verse falls to the soul like dew to the pasture. What does it matter that my love could not keep her? The night is shattered, and she is not with me. This is all. In the distance, someone is singing. In the distance, my soul is not satisfied that it has lost her. My sight searches for her as though to go to her. My heart looks for her, and she is not with me. The same night whitening, the same trees. We of that time are no longer the same. I no longer love her, that's certain. But how I loved her. My voice tried to find the wind to touch her hearing. Another's. She will be another's. Like my kisses before. Her voice, her bright body, her infinite eyes. I no longer love her, that's certain. But maybe I love her. Love is so short, forgetting is so long. Because through nights like this one I held her in my arms, my soul is not satisfied that it has lost her. Though this be the last pain that she makes me suffer, and these the last verses that I write for her. Okay.